So like in words like Cotswolds, it would come out Codswold or I can't.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Jordan Beck.
And I'm Alaytra back.
And together we are Around the World and Back. We have a goal of hitting 50 countries and 50 US states.
Yes, but today we are going to be talking about being Americans living in England. We've been here for 3 years now and we get asked questions all the time. So we're going to talk with you guys about our answers to those questions. All right, so these are going to be our top 5 questions that we get asked all the time. And this is a list that I kind of combined, put together, going through all of the comments that we've gotten, just kind of keeping note of that. But this is also stuff that we get asked by like locals while we're out traveling or at Sainsbury or Tesco. And just, yeah, these are the things that I think are the most common, but Jordan hasn't heard them yet. So we'll see if you agree with this and what your response is.
I'm excited to get into these. We've talked about this video for a while, so to finally hear what these most questions are.
Diving into this list, this isn't like specifically about you and I and personal questions, but if we wanted to do a Q&A of some kind, we could do that at a future point. If you guys wanted to know a little bit more about Jordan and I, this is what I feel is more genuine questions that get asked to Americans that have just up and decided to live in the UK for a few years. Which brings me to our very first question. I would say this is in no particular order, like not like the most asked or anything like that. But first question, why are you guys in England?
Yeah, that's a good one. We get asked that all the time. Mm-hmm. We're here because of your job. We're here for 3 years. So.
Yeah, so I'm in the military and the US Air Force said that we were gonna move to England. So we moved here on orders to work and we knew we were gonna be here for 3 years and we're wrapping up towards an end of that 3 years and I cannot believe how fast it has gone.
Yeah, a big part of me wants to stay here.
Yeah, I do too. And we were so excited to get England. You kind of get a preference list. They call it a dream sheet because you don't actually know if that's what you're gonna get. It's all a dream. And England was both our number 1 and number 2 pick. We really wanted to come here. And if we hadn't gotten England, we would have honeymooned here.
Yeah, surprisingly. It all worked out. So.
Yeah, so that is why we're here in England. Question number 2, where are you guys from? Are you Canadian?
No. I think that's probably, I would argue that may be the most asked question, and only because we travel a lot and they do the typical introduction of, oh, where are you from? And people say where we're from, or people say where they're from, but the difficulty is, at least for me, I was from originally all over the States.
Yeah.
You lived in Nebraska.
Born and raised.
And we moved shortly after we got married to England. And we've been here. So we live here, but usually when we say that, people notice right away we don't have an accent.
Yeah. I would say in terms of Americans, we don't really have accents.
Yes.
Here we are the people with the accent.
Yes, but I think a couple of times on tours or introductions to people, they kind of be like, oh, England. Like it doesn't quite connect. Like we don't have the accent.
Oh, like we don't have an English accent.
Yes, that we don't have an English accent. And they're like, but you sound American. We're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we are. We're from the States originally, but it's a whole thing, but it's really interesting and trying to explain it all. And
yeah. But yeah, that's to answer your question. I lived in Nebraska for 23 years and then I moved to England. It was my first time out of the country. And you are from all over the place.
All over the place. So what's question number 3?
Question number 3 is, what do you miss most about living in the US?
That's a good one.
I would kind of also liken that to like, what do you like best about being here? I think those are opposites of the same, 2 sides of the same coin.
Okay. The thing that I miss the most about the US, it's tough sometimes, especially just trying to put like one thing in that
single thing.
Yeah, thing in that category.
Because there's a lot that I miss about being home. Like this has become home, but it's not like where we're from, you know.
Exactly.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I think there's some conveniences that I miss about the States. But I think part of it is also what part of England we live in.
Yeah, we live in a more remote part. It's not like we're in the middle of the city.
Yeah, but I feel like even in the remote parts of the city, there's a little bit more options in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Convenience.
Yeah, I would say convenience or family. Obviously, that's a good one.
Yeah. Put that in edit. Mom, I'm missing.
The thing that I like most about being here is probably the people and the culture, the social life. It's
that's a really good one.
Yeah, it's really good talking to people and just, I don't know, there's something, I can't put my finger on it, and it's just like talking with the people at your work or even the locals going into shops and stuff.
Everybody I feel is really friendly.
Yes.
Like so nice, so polite. Yeah, that's a really good answer. Yeah. I would say what I miss the most about the States, like the convenience is good, obviously family, but maybe the food. We have really good food. I know it's horrible for you, but dang, it is so good. And not saying that there isn't food here that is good, but yeah, there's just American food slaps.
I don't even know if you're necessarily talking about like, the fast food joints.
No, just in general. Like,
yeah,
there's so much different styles of cooking, and I'm not saying that England doesn't have that. It's what I grew up with in the States. It's what I love. It's what I miss. Like something about what you consider to be your home's cooking, like I miss it, and it's so hard to recreate it, especially when you're not using the same ingredients, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there is a variety. Like some people argue that the milk tastes different, and like,
I mean, it's just
small stuff.
It's grown different places. It's probably way healthier here. Not probably, it is healthier here, but it just doesn't taste the same, and I just miss that nostalgia a little bit. So
that's what you grew up with.
Yeah, I would say that's what I miss the most. But here, the people is a really great answer. If you hadn't said that, I would say that. I'm probably gonna say travel. The opportunities to get to see the world here is, you can't do that in the States in the same way. It costs so much money just to go from one state to another because it's massive. Just to drive across Nebraska, it would take 7-8 hours to go from one side to the other. And you can go all the way to Scotland in that time, or anywhere in Europe if you're on a flight, and it's so cheap. Like opportunities here are crazy.
You know, you have like €9 flights, or you know, like £5. You know, it's just insane. And even
it's so like convenient too. Like it's almost like everybody wants you to come and travel and visit them. And
and you also have trains, not to mention like
so even if you're like, I just want to go to London,
sprinkle that in with the
so
travel.
easy. Number 4, why do you pronounce blank wrong? So insert any word ever that we've ever tried and failed to say. Why do you pronounce it wrong?
This one, I feel like it drives me nuts, and I could go into it for a long time because everybody's different. And I mean, it goes back to your school, the way you were raised, the dialects. I mean, I saw some video a while ago that was bouncing around all of the UK doing different accents and different dialects and everything. And it's all like so wildly different. And to me, as somebody that didn't grow up with it, it's wild to understand. Like I struggle with like northern accents and even like Scottish accents.
Like understanding them?
Yes, like understanding them. So
I have to be your translator.
Being able to remember that and then pronounce it correctly is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And
I think that's completely accurate. Like everybody has different accents. There's 473 accents just within the UK. We just have a different accent. So it's not that we're trying to say it wrong. It's just that's how it sounds in our voice. Like we tend to switch T's for D's. So like in words like Cotswolds, it would come out Codswold or it would come out Cotswolds. Like it's just how it would come out for us.
Or even like Cambridgeshire. That's how I think we would say it. But I think
it's Cambridgeshire.
It's
an
entire country of 300 and some million people all speaking roughly the same thing, and you're over here in Europe and you're so close to all these different languages as well. Other times we'll go to different countries, be unable to pronounce things. And
I would say that's another thing too, is a lot of the times we'll go and we'll visit someplace, we'll eat something, we'll give it our all. And a lot of times we even look it up to try and see if we can get a video of how it's said. But sometimes it is just we just have to go based off of sounding it out. Like, we're just reading this word and that's how I would say it, and I'm giving it my all. At least I'm trying to say it.
And at least for me, I don't know about you, but flashcards was not my specialty. So being able to just remember different phrases and words is not good with me.
So it's just our accent. We're not trying to offend anybody. Like, that's just how we sound. All right, last question with this is, and then I have a surprise segment for you. I didn't tell you what we were gonna do. But last question is, do you like it better living in England or living in the US? I feel like this is kind of a difficult question to answer.
Yeah, it is. It's wildly different. And I think you have advantages and disadvantages to both.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like we mentioned, if we live here, we have the advantages of like, being able to travel, the people,
new
and
experiences.
the new experience. Like all of this is just so, lack of a better word, foreign to us. And how we were, and at least to the people back home saying like, yeah, we lived in England for 3 years. Like in return, would somebody that lived here being like, oh, I lived in the US for 3 years.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Would that be cool? Like, they may be like, nah, I don't like the US.
Maybe it depends where in the US.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's too difficult to really answer. I think both have their moments. There's moments where I'm like, I'm glad I'm not living in the US.
Yeah.
And there's moments where I'm like, kind of excited to go back. And I think it depends on what you make of it.
I think so too. I completely agree. And it's comparing completely different things. Like, this has been a once in a lifetime opportunity. Well, I hope it's not once in a lifetime. I'd love to come back. But I mean, for now, it's been a once in a lifetime opportunity being here and getting to share all of these experiences and immerse ourselves in the culture, try the food, try the snacks, try, the different places and see all the different things. But at the same time, like, the US is our home. And it's always going to have a special place in our heart. And it's hard to say which one we like better. I would move back here in an absolute second. I don't regret coming here in any little part of me. I love it here.
Yeah.
So I refuse to answer. I love both for different reasons. The next thing we're going to dive into is, and I didn't tell you about this, but 5 questions that people from the US ask us about being Americans living here. So This was all questions that I thought people in Europe and specifically the UK, from what I've been able to tell, comment section grocery stores, have asked us. This is our American friends and family / people we have talked to. Not all our friends and family, but what they have asked us. Okay. First one is, what's it like there in London? Living in London. We don't live in London. Yeah. I think everybody that hears that we're living here thinks that we live in London. I think it's just a landmarker. It's the city people know.
Yeah.
We're not really that close. We're about 2 hours or so from London.
Yeah, it's, couldn't tell you what that's like living in London, but I can tell you what it's like living north.
Yeah, we're in Cambridgeshire. We're just outside of Ely. Like, it's a smaller town, more remote. It is nothing like London. It's completely different. So
yeah, I think just really small. I think that's kind of the difference, and like even the takes that we had when our families came to visit. Like, it's a cute little town, and it's everyone knows everyone sort of thing.
Yeah. Second question: do you have an accent yet?
I don't think so. I think there are some words that I have replaced, which we kind of
we went over in a
previous video. But I think for the most part, I don't have an accent. I think you kind of have some words that slip through. We definitely have words, but I think you have some accented words that slip through too.
Yeah, I would say so. Especially, not really, I don't know. There's just some words that when I'm ordering something that I would order in the UK a lot, or especially when I've spent a lot of time with my UK counterparts at my work, my British friends there, I will say that when I've spent a lot of time there, I'll come back and I'll say things like military instead of military. And I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? But no, definitely don't have an accent. I would totally take it though. If all of a sudden I woke up with a British accent, oh, heck yeah, sign me up. That'd be so cool. Question number 3. Does everybody there have bad teeth?
I think the answer is no.
No.
But I think it's kind of one of those stereotypes almost.
Yeah, it's 100% a stereotype.
Yeah, and we can confirm that's not the case.
No, yeah, there are people with bad teeth, but there are also people with bad teeth in the States and everywhere else in the world. Like, there's great dental care here. People get their,
I think it's just,
I don't really know where that came from.
I think in a way it's like prioritized or even like expected to have good teeth in the US, or more of an emphasis to have it. And I think there's that pressure and, constant reminder in the back of your mind that's like, oh, you have to do this or whatever.
But yeah, in my own personal experience, no, not true. Question number 4. Do you guys do afternoon tea every day?
No. That's the easy one. That's a big no. I think
I would do afternoon tea every day. You're telling me you wouldn't?
I would do tea every day.
But just not in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, yeah, but I mean the stuff that goes with
the
tea. Yeah. What about you?
No, I don't do afternoon tea every day. I totally would though.
No,
I definitely do tea so much more often here, like just drinking tea, but not the full sit down, get dressed up, like
and I think,
sandwiches, scones.
I think majority of that has kind of like died out a bit anyways. So.
Oh yeah, that's not nobody in the UK sits down and does that every day.
And if you are the exception, let us know.
Yeah.
We want to know what that's like.
I think this might be the exception. And this is our last one in this category. Have you met the Queen?
No.
I wish.
Haven't come close. I don't even think we've been near the palace when she's been there.
No, yeah. Because you can look at the flag on top, right? And see if she's there.
I think so. I think that's what I've heard. But
yeah.
I'm not, if you guys know, let us know down in the comments if the flag thing is true, what flag needs to be flown to represent that she's there.
But we've not met a single member of the royal family. I totally would. If you guys have any contacts, you want to hook us up, we'd love to meet Queen Lizzie. But no, we haven't.
I know one of the things that I would really like to do is to go to the palace. I know they do some tours, and it's actually just now opening up again.
That's so cool.
With the pandemic and just the season, I guess she's not there. I know from what I've heard, you cannot film, so we wouldn't be able to make a video out of it.
It would be so worth going though.
But I think we definitely should, and maybe that's something that we kind of do some post on Instagram with. So if that's something that interests you, let us know in the comments down below.
And then this is the very last question, and I couldn't put it in a category either way because we get asked this, I would say, equally from our US friends and family and from just comment section people in the UK. How does it feel driving on the left or the right side of the road?
This is a great question. I have a couple points that I want to make. With one, a lot of times when people are coming to the UK and they are going to be in our situation where they have to live here and adjust,
they're so worried about it.
They're worried about it. They're terrified and they're scared, and I've heard people even have the option and they turn it away because they're so scared.
And I was too.
And yeah, exactly. I was exactly one of those people.
It's very intimidating.
Yes, and they kind of threw you into it.
Oh,
They just said, drive home from the airport from your first time being here, and you're jet lagged and everything, right?
No, it wasn't the airport. It was a bus station. But still, it was...
Yeah,
It was spooky, but I mean, you learn on the fly. As long as you know how to drive as a human being, like, you'll figure it out. And there's definitely, like, roundabouts. We love them so much better as to being on the other side of the car, other side of the road. Like, you adjust, you adapt, you get used to it.
And I think one of the things that we're going to struggle with in the future is actually going back to the other side.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we've done it in a couple different countries, but I think even the driving in the other countries is different than what the US is. So that drastic change will be like, we are driving on the opposite side again.
Yeah, just like I am in the US, I'm on this side of the road.
I have to make that constant reminder. And it's good, it's tough, but
yeah, I say you adapt, you overcome, you get used to it, and that just becomes the normal. So it's it's different than driving in the US, but it's no more difficult.
Yeah.
Benefits and positives to everything.
I think what's even funnier too, I had a Japanese spec car, which is
same as the UK.
Same as the UK, and you have a US spec car, so the steering wheel is that of the US. So yeah, instead of having the steering wheel close to the median, it's on the other side.
Yeah, we'll give a whole video about that if you want to know about driving a US car in the UK.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that is all that we have for this round. I hope you guys liked this video. This is just something that we thought we'd kind of address the questions that we get asked all the time and give you guys our answers as to what it's really like as being Americans here, what brings us here, all that shebang.
So with that, hit that like and subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.